On everyone, welcome to Bourbon and Bullshit podcast with some good friends, great drinks, and a little bit of BS. So grab a seat, pour up something neat, and welcome to the show. Welcome into a very fun episode of Bourbon and Bullshit. Today's episode is themed Bourbon and Barbells. I've brought in two of my favorite athletes, two of my favorite people in the world, actually, one of my good friends that I don't spend any, not as much time as I would like to spend with both of you, which is really disappointing as you guys are incredibly fun to be around, and also really afraid of spiders in unique places.
I was thinking about that in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
We don't hang out enough.
We do not hang out anywhere near enough. But guys, I'm going to start with...
I mean,
arachnophobia herself.
Sit here and say that she would rather, like, she's like, do you sit down on the toilet? Do you not sit down on the toilet? Oh, I live life on the edge. Listen, I'm already deathly scared of having a spider go up my hoo-ha. I am not going to sit on a public toilet and just add to that fear.
You see, so that is Moody.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the show, Moody. So she's afraid of spiders, going into very unique places, which I think isn't, I would not want one in any of those places.
I can't be the only person ever in life.
No one wants a spider in those places, but I don't think that me sitting on a toilet is going to lead to that.
That's what I'm saying.
People, you as a doctor, Megan. Tell me that in med school.
Professional.
Yeah, in college, you did not have like people having ears, like spiders in their ears.
No.
You've never seen that? I've seen that on YouTube.
Are you serious? You've never seen
Where
that?
people lay eggs.
But you know what I have seen?
Spiders.
You know what I have seen is a video called The Annoying Roommate.
That giggly voice you're hearing is Dr. Megan.
Hi.
That's right.
This is
turning into a really
episode.
productive episode.
So, yes, that was a doctor you heard here. Bullshit is now medically cleared. I'm joking.
It's like medically certified.
Yes. So, guys.
Medicine.
We have already been drinking, if you can't tell. It has been a lot of fun already. We've just been 2 minutes and 23 seconds into the show. So,
talking about spiders toilets, hoo-has,
bad roommates,
and
douchebag gym owners. Listen.
I didn't bring that up.
I did. I don't go there. I could do what I want. But we started, as every show, we bring in a drink of the day. And of course, today's episode is filmed in front of a live studio audience. My fiance's in the background taking notes and yelling at me.
Hey.
Anytime I forget something,
stunning.
My beautiful producer will make sure I remember. Thank you, dear. So we wanted to make sure that we let the ladies get what they wanted. So we started with a tequila cocktail, kind of a stone fruit / pineapple version of a margarita, but made it a little different just for them. This one is 1.5 ounces of Blanco tequila or agave spirit, 4 ounces of pineapple juice, an ounce of orange liqueur, and that's it. Shake that shit up and pour it over some fresh ice. So Moody, how'd you like your
So good. It's perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. It was just enough alcohol. I'm such a lightweight, so this was like perfect.
That's why I didn't
Had you add a little bit more, I probably would have been like talking more about hoo-has.
There's the fine line of the hoo-ha conversations.
Yeah,
2 ounces of tequila, hoo-ha talk all day.
Correct.
Just over the line.
Yeah, we just jumped right over that line.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it because Bourbon and Bullshit, we typically don't always start with a tequila cocktail. But for y'all, I'll do it.
I love it.
Give a damn.
Appreciate it.
We talked about this beforehand.
Yeah,
and that I get the bottle rocket effect where it's like, woo, party. Tired. But then we just pounded that and then asked for round 2. So it was
says
very,
the woman
very
that
delicious.
walks in with a drink and her.
Oh my God, I forgot that.
And her white girl Stanley, and then pounds the. What was the name of this again?
What did you just call it? The Moody. We'll call it for the rest of the
we'll call it the Moody. Oh, so fancy.
Wow.
You pounded that one, and then you had the other blackberry one.
So this isn't the blackberry one yet. This is the
yet.
blood orange one.
The blood orange one.
So double feature, guys. We went ahead and made a second drink of the day because I'm a bourbon guy. My fiance wanted a bourbon drink because we always do.
I just wanted to be with the cool kids.
Hey, everyone here's a cool kid. You're here at this table.
Right.
Everyone here's cool. But we made something called the Rhyme and Reason.
So good.
Labor & Co. Makes this blood orange cordial, and on the back of it, they list recommended cocktails. This one is 1.5 ounces of the blood orange cordial, half an ounce of orgeat, 1.5 ounces of rye whiskey, and half an ounce of lime juice. Shake that shit up and put that over fresh ice, and it's fucking delicious.
It is really good.
It is a weird, silky, smooth kind of sour that I...
Well, you said it tastes like a sweet tart, right?
It tastes like a sweet tart.
Rosanna said that it tastes like sweet tart.
Candy.
Well, Megan did first. But
Oh, both of you.
I'm not a huge like bourbon and whiskey girly, which tastes like cough syrup to me. But then it's also like blasphemy to like mix it. You know, like you always kind of come into like you hear those two words and you're like old fashioned, like or neat or on the rocks, and you want to just be like a cool guy or a cool girl, and that's how Tony drinks it. He's like, "Can I get an old fashioned?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure," and I can't. We'll go to like do distilleries or go and sample the stuff, and I'm just like, oh, it tastes like cough syrup. But if it's like mixed with something that's super yummy and tasty, then I can tolerate it a little bit better. And this is delicious. I can't taste any of it, which might be a problem. But
2 for 2, guys. You heard it here first. 2
yeah, 2 for 2. We got one more coming.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait.
So there's gonna be another one themed for Megan, but we'll reveal that later.
Stay tuned.
All jokes aside, no bullshit. I'm a big proprietor of drink however the fuck you want. If you want to pour ice in it, you want to mix it with something, you want to mix it with Mountain Dew, because apparently, I don't know if you knew this, that Mountain Dew was originally made to be a mixer with whiskey.
Really?
It was developed to be like the answer to Crown and Coke. It was like, well, we're going to make a different spirit because it apparently tastes fucking amazing together, and people ended up just liking Mountain Dew on its own.
Interesting.
They're like, this is really delicious for anyone who wants to just punch drywall.
Let's go.
I won't judge how you drink, but I judge Mountain Dew a little
We
bit.
won't damage your home today.
Not today, but you know.
You got any walls you need to plow down? We got you.
I'm going to call Megan and Moody.
Get that Mountain Dew.
But yeah, that's I think if you want to drink your whiskeys, neat, old fashions, all that, do that all fucking day. You want to mix it with some shit, it's your fucking alcohol. You paid for it. I'm not going to tell you how to drink it.
That's true.
Big proprietor of that. But
With your dad being like a Texas guy, did you grow up with like him drinking like whiskey or bourbons or anything like that?
No, it was I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, and it's like you're either a beer drinker or a beer drinker. And growing up, you know, we were around, like my uncle works in the bar industry, my dad worked in the bar industry. So it was more of like Bloody Marys and wine. My parents are big winos, which like I wish I could get into it. I'm not a wine sommelier. We decided is the word that they use. No,
We decided. It's not like it's the actual word.
You have to lift the chin when you talk about that word. No, I didn't grow up with like whiskey or bourbon or anything in my life. Actually, Tony, I would say my fiance. Shout out to him. He's so sweet.
Fiance.
Fiance. He is the guy that like introduced me to a lot of that type of liquor, and kind of being in this like mixologist kind of realm. He's also taken off in a lot of the really cool types of cocktails that he likes to make, and we bounce ideas off of each other. And so this is a really, really tasty cocktail that I'll have to steal and bring to the house.
Steal all day. I don't give a damn. That's
Shout out. We'll call it the Arthur.
Yes. You said
no, we got to call it the G.
The G.
It depends how far the interview pushes me, right?
Right. Hopefully not this one.
That's going to be another episode.
We'll make you laugh more than you make you angry. So.
Thank you. God, there's been some episodes recently. I'm not going to talk about it. So you said you visited some distilleries with Tony too. Like, where'd you guys go?
One of our favorites was the St. Augustine distillery. We were actually there a couple of months ago for our anniversary, and I think there's one called City Gate in St. Augustine that's right across from the fort in St. Augustine. Those places were fantastic. So, but I'll like go there and it's just like straight, and I'm like cough syrup. So I'm not loving it super like. I'm just hanging in there with the team. I'm usually
to find one that's not cough syrupy. Is that
so for me, I'm like, you get in like a little snifter glass and you're like, oh, I feel so cool. But I'm like, can I just get like a whiskey sour? Can I get like an Elijah Craig with like Coke? And that's like blasphemy in Kentucky. His entire family lives in Kentucky, so you drink anything with a mixer and you're just like rude. So.
I do what you want. I'm not here to.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
Moody, what about you? Have you gone to distilleries at least, or tried them out, or breweries or anything?
No, I go to breweries. Like I'll try like new breweries, especially like Orlando has so many microbreweries now. So yeah, like I'll go visit those. Like Ivanhoe Brewery is really super cool.
I love that one.
I went to America's beer festival, I think it was the name of it. It was like you buy a ticket and you go in and you could just sample beers from all over. And it was right across the street from Ivanhoe Brewery, and it was great because then afterwards everyone just kind of migrated to the Ivanhoe Brewery.
Yes.
And with your ticket they gave you a beer. So with beer, I'm really like a sours and a cider girl.
Ooh.
Yeah,
really?
I'm all sours, all ciders. I really do. And then like with wine, I can do some wines. I can't do the dry wines. I can do like really full flavored wines. And then tequila, like 100% tequila is my thing. It always has been. My bucket list trip would be to go to Tequila in Mexico. There's a town named Tequila.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I'm actually going to be in Mexico middle of July for a bachelorette party. Yes, I'm part of a bachelorette party.
He's Mark 2.0.
It'd be like that. I got to be security and I also have to translate. But they're like, hey, Arthur, do you think of anything we should go to? I was like, here's the tequila train. Yes. Here's the tequila tour. Yes. Just started pouring. I was like, here you go. Very, very selfish.
Like, if I'm going to be here with all ladies, I got to make sure I make this worth my time.
Do you need another security detail? Because I
and you can help me translate. You can help me translate too.
That's where I bow out gracefully.
Oh, you can't do that. Sorry.
So both of you obviously knew you're coming on a Bourbon and Bullshit show. How open-minded are you to trying some stuff that you have never tried before, and maybe finding? No, I mean straight bourbons, because at some point we will do a straight pour.
I'll try it.
Yes.
You don't come into a show like this and not be mentally prepared.
Yeah.
To just like try something that may or may not taste like cough syrup,
So one of the recent guests, we had a really good friend. Before she came on, she's like, look, I don't know anything about bourbon, but I'm an expert at bullshit. And I was like,
that part.
I was like,
can we get a t-shirt?
Actually, it's actually being produced. Yeah. It's actually coming up soon, so stay tuned for that on the show.
Ready.
Shout.
Add to cart.
Yeah, because I was like, the purpose of the show is always not about like, I don't want you to fucking be here and an expert. I'm not an expert. I'm here having fun with my friends and just fucking around. So I'm glad you guys are open to it.
Of course. It's
now,
fun.
Everyone's heard your lovely voices. I want to get a little bit of history, like a little bit about you so people know individually. So we're going to start with Murri, since you were the first drink of the day. So tell us about yourself and what have you been doing recently, keeping yourself busy, watching, and a little bit, just you.
I am a single mom of 2 awesome kids. I have a 20-year-old son who's actually active military. He's serving our nation in the military. He's actually deployed right now, which is it's kind of bittersweet. It's kind of cool because I think like he's just getting some really cool experiences out there. And then part of me is like, I don't know what's going on in the world. But yeah. And then I have a 13-year-old daughter who is basically like a carbon copy of Megan, except she's Puerto Rican. So it really,
that's my daughter.
So basically it's like what Megan is on the inside. She's really Puerto Rican.
I've been saying
like
that about you for
Oreo.
years. I've said about you for years.
Yeah. I'm a Boricua, but you don't really necessarily have to say.
Exactly.
She has big hoop earrings, even though they're Beetlejuice.
Correct. But yeah, I work for a timeshare company. I've been there for almost 20 years now. I coach CrossFit and Olympic weightlifting, and I compete in Olympic weightlifting.
Oh, compete? Just compete?
Go on. Tell the people
what
they want to hear.
Detail here.
Gas you up. Let's go.
2023, I was ranked 9th in the world.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay.
Where's a golf club? I gotta go
It's
get
like
this out.
the golf club. Insert golf club here.
Yeah. No, I in 2022 I decided that I was really going to go full force into the whole weightlifting season. For those that don't know, Olympic weightlifting is obviously an Olympic sport. It is 2 movements, snatch and clean and jerk. And you can compete anywhere from a local meet all the way up to the Olympics. Being in the Olympics is like a huge whole process. But for everyone else outside of that process and those professional athletes, you can be basically like a master's athlete after you're 35. I didn't start lifting until way after I was 30. So once I hit 35, I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll take this weightlifting thing a little farther. And in 2022, I said, okay, I'm going to buckle down and actually do all of the qualification process to like get to master nationals and then to like worlds and everything. And I did. I went to my local state. I was weightlifting Florida state champ second place, and then in 2022, and then first place in 2023. And then with that qualification, then I went on to Masters Nationals. I competed there. I tied for 4th nationally, and then I qualified for Worlds. And then at Worlds, I placed 6th and ended up with a 9th overall Worlds.
And you started with the timeshare, huh? Okay.
There it is. That's such a big deal. It's so
Timeshare had to pay for all of the 100% and for the coach.
I understand, but I'm just saying.
I had to pay for it.
Yeah, so,
yeah.
But badass. And for those who have not met Moody, she is a delight to be around, and you can't ever imagine that much strength coming off from her. Like, such a big smile. And I was like, hey, how's everybody doing?
But she could totally like lift you.
Yeah, she could throw someone. Like, that was like, if for anyone anyone who's never been in a real gym with people like who weightlift and assume that we're all mean people or angry people, it's not usually like that. For the most part, all of us were goofy, having fun and dancing bachata and salsa and all that stuff.
Yes, why not? If we're gonna be lifting and we're gonna be doing these heavy things and these hard movements, why are we not going to have some fun in between? I'm gonna be a complete goofball in between.
Bro, you know how many times you would catch me dancing at the
yes
like, multiple times I'm dancing at the weightlifting platform. You're like, what are you doing? I was like, huh? I forgot all of you were in here. Like,
listen,
and we do the same
Who
thing.
invited you to my party?
Yeah, bro. And if you ever have the opportunity to go to any of the gyms she coaches at, her music selection is way better. Yeah, and I'll say it in front of every other coach, way better than everyone else. Old school hip hop, some reggaeton, some dance music, some just you're lit.
yes,
You forget that you're actually feeling
Fighting
a lot of
demons.
Pain. Yes, inner turmoil and some shit boiling up. You're just like, this is great. I'm happy to fucking be here. I don't know why I can't feel my legs.
Listen, if you are going to take, I've always said it, if you're going to take an hour out of your day to go sweat and go do some hard shit that 90% of the population doesn't do for themselves, right? Because people that work out are really only the 10%, if that. I'm probably overestimating. If you're going to take 1 hour out of your day to go do that, I'm going to make it your best hour of your day. 100%.
And there's a lot to be said of not only that, but the fact that you build camaraderie through goofiness. There's like, yeah, we're already shared trauma, and there's a lot of, you're in a group setting. So if you're so focused, like, oh my God, I'm not as strong as the person next to me. The fun shit you do makes you forget that there's someone who's half my age that's outlifting me.
Yes.
And I'm like, fuck you, Kevin. So by the end of the class, I was like, Kevin's all right. Like,
That's a good dude.
That's like
He that
me
guy.
and Megan. Fuck you, Megan, for running faster than me. But you know what? You're
She
so
go
cute.
outlift me every day.
Bro,
Every day of the week.
anytime.
Inflatable muscles these days.
It was every time they're like, oh, it's going to be a partner workout. And it's me and Megan. I was like, I don't want to let you
Max
down.
effort.
I'm like, yes, the Deadpool maximum effort. I was like, whatever is the cardio stuff, I can't help you. But
You want anything with a dumbbell or a barbell? I got you.
whatever you want me to lift, I will hold it for the whole time. But I will not run the half mile.
She has no stop either. Like Megan has like no stop, and there's no like half-assing a workout with her. There's days where I'm tired and I'm just like, I'm just here to sweat. It is what it is. She's like, let's go. It is a marathon and it is the Olympics and it is strong women today. We're getting first place every single time.
We will be the first one to finish. We will clap for everybody to finish. Make sure that you're silently dying on the inside and having a great time at the same time.
Even if you collapse, get the fuck back up and
Correct.
you cheer on everyone else.
Yeah.
That's what both of you have always been about. Yeah. Any reservations about when you decided, I'm a fucking buckle up and get ready for this and just go ham? Any like?
No, absolutely not.
It was
No,
just
100%. It was basically brought on me through my son. I think it was like, he was starting his wrestling season.
His senior year, right?
Yeah, it was the senior year of high school, and he had just started wrestling, and he was really good at it. And his coach was like, "Hey, join the team. You made varsity. Like, you might as well try your best." And he came to me. He's like, "Hey, Mom, I need to lose a few pounds because I need to make this weight class because obviously, like, I'm too heavy to compete in the other classes." They had like kids that had been wrestling for
Their whole life.
Their whole life.
Yeah.
So he's like, I need to drop a few pounds in order to hit this weight class. And I was like, all right, cool. And so I asked him, like, well, why this? Why now? I need to know, like, what's your why? And he said, well, why not me? Why not? Why can't I do it? I see all these kids, like, hitting their goals. Like, why can't I? And at that same time, I was thinking to myself, like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want it. 2022 was also his senior year, so he was graduating high school. I didn't know if I wanted to take on that much training and those many meets during that special time of his life.
Mm-hmm. That's a big fucking deal.
I'm sorry.
Megan is in tears.
I'm so sorry.
The motivation.
Because I remember that moment, like it was yesterday, where it was, get it together. Here we go.
Hey,
here we
sorry.
go.
Stop.
Because it's
I
so
want you to know this is a first. This is the soonest someone has ever cried on an episode.
Because it's so inspiring. And I remember being on the sidelines for her and her just like, hey, this is a goal I'm setting for myself. And Jovan is somebody that is so important to me that I want to be there for him every step of the way. And it's like when and you told me that exact story and you're like, why not me? Like, why can't I do this? And that was something that like, it was like a really quick switch that changed in your mindset. And the fact that like your son inspired you to do something so remarkable with your body and your goals and just kind of shifting like the way that you think about your health and your wellness and your fitness and being able to represent people like yourself and being a mom at the same time. That's why I'm looking at your fiance crying. So I'm like,
are you both crying?
It was.
Are you both?
It was.
There are two people
I remember
teary-eyed
that
in my
moment
studio.
being so
Like,
so inspiring.
Are you getting teary-eyed too?
No, I mean, I can't look at her and not cry.
Because it's so inspiring. And I just like, I remember how important that moment was for you and that like shift of your mindset. Yeah. And to relive that for a second.
I just feel like at the moment I remember like listening to him and I was like, if this kid who is not even 18 yet can think like this, why can't I? And also like I not to toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot
girl. Get it, girl.
I raised him to think like that. Why am I not thinking like that myself?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So in that moment, I was like, all right, well, I sat my kids down, sat my mom down and said, okay, this is what I want to do this year. This means that's going to take a lot of my time. I need you guys to work with me. And of course, they all were on board. My son ended up finishing 4th in the state for wrestling. All right. His first year, and then graduated, went to Navy boot camp, and I finished the year, 6th, placing 6th at Worlds. So, yeah, talk about
a whole badass. Yeah,
if we're gonna keep this up, I'm gonna break that button by mistake.
There's gonna be a lot of applause for her because she does so much. I'm not trying to cry again, but
for the record, timeshare paid for all that.
Amen.
So just throwing that out there.
You that dude.
Listen, if you ever want to fuck around and be a sponsor, we'll do it.
No. Call your job.
Hey, do you guys want to be a sponsor of a podcast? No, but no bullshit. That's part of the reason why I enjoyed being around both of you so much. Like Moody was always just like, let's fucking go. Let's push. Let's get hard. Let's stronger. Let's fucking lift heavier weight. Let's just do shit outside of your comfort zone. And Megan the same. Like there was always some fucking. There's a demonic like will to just keep going somewhere in there. That's just fueled.
We got a lot of trauma. A lot of
cheers,
demons.
sister. Cheers, sister. But there's
I'll
always
drink to that.
Amen. Cheers. Boop. Blah.
Cheers to like
ding.
Ding.
Yep. Cling.
But it was funny getting to know you both and seeing if someone just saw you lift and work out, they're like, they're not nice people. And then
it doesn't help that we both have like an RBF when we
100%. Yeah.
I've gotten that shit too. I think some of you might have thought that about me when you first.
You 100% have RBF. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
I'm like, that guy could kill me in a back alley.
And I'm just
so I like met you as Arthur, and then people introduced you as G, just G. And I said, why? And they're like, you'll know. And then we watch you work out and we get to know you better. And I said, I'm in a gangster with a capital G on the
You really are.
Yeah, like I don't want to get into the dark. I'm joking.
Said, that's for another episode.
That's for Bourbon and my childhood trauma.
You got to pay for that therapy session.
That is
subscribe to this show.
No, but it's true. Like I've saw it with you guys where like you see you on the side joking around having fun. I'm like, oh, I like them. I remember going to like Wadapalooza or something. It was an event that I saw Moody at, and it was like, oh, I was just talking to her. It was like and goofy, and I think at that point it dawned on you like, oh, this motherfucker's just fun.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, you were volunteering at Wadapalooza the year that you competed.
Megan was there.
Yeah. And then I like drove down for I think it was just the day to see you compete. Yeah. And that's why we like kind of talked more because I had known you from the gym, but I hadn't really spoken to you. And our group just like kind of became a
Vibed.
group that day.
Yeah,
It was cool.
We were on the side watching Megan compete, and
Yeah.
what I've always been, both of you, like one of your biggest cheerleaders. Like, yay!
You have been.
You really have
for
been.
sure.
Yeah, whenever
I
you
love
guys invite me to some shit, I was like, yeah, I'll go. I'm like, I don't know how useful I'll be. I'll bring water and jokes. That's what I can do for you.
Sometimes when
all
you're
it
competing,
needs.
that's all you need.
Yeah.
Water and jokes.
But it is awesome to go back a little bit to the emotional side to see that you brought that up in your son, recognize that it's almost like you put it to the back of your mind. It was so important to put that energy towards him that you forgot where the source was.
Yeah.
And when he said that, you're like, hold the fuck up. Like he quite literally got it from his mama. So, so to bring it back, use him as a motivation for something you obviously instilled in him is a fantastic story to hear. So
Thank you.
yeah, don't start with the timeshare story. The next time.
I just said what I do. That's all. It doesn't define me.
I'm teasing.
I am not my job.
I'm not my job. I'm not my fucking khakis.
I am.
Fight
though.
Club.
I am.
Speaking of
You are your job.
I am my job.
Speaking of someone's journey leading into their job, doctor,
Hi.
we're going to get to know you a little bit more. If you don't mind, we're going to take a quick break, refill some cups, and when we get back, we get to know Dr. Ford.
Oh.
Hey guys, while you're listening to the show, we know that you might want to partake in some drinks with us and enjoy the libations. Here at Bourbon and BullSh, we ask that you drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive, avoid Amazon one-click buy, and for the love of God, do not text your ex. You do not need that kind of closure. They've moved on, so should you, Joseph. You should stop Facebook stalking. She knows. She knows. Now, all jokes aside, don't do anything dumb, take care of yourselves, and be safe. Thanks guys, now back to the show. And we are back. We took a little bit of a longer break. We were talking about people who shouldn't be invited to weddings, and some other stuff randomly throughout our time, and just randomness. It was a lot of fun. It sucks to be you guys for not being here with us.
It's a good time.
So, Dr. Meg.
So formal.
So, whenever we bring people along, same thing. Want to know what you've been watching, reading, doing. Just know a little bit about you. And it sounded like there's some shows in the front of your mind that you want to talk about.
Well, let's start with why I am the way I am, I guess.
She said it with so much sass.
I am Dr. Megan Ford. I
skipped a step. We did your drink of the day.
That's okay. Yeah. This is very much me in a cocktail.
So yeah, we gave you the Beetlejuice. This is a
Don't say it 3 times though.
Hey, that movie's coming out. I love Michael Keaton.
I can't wait.
I love Michael Keaton.
Tyler's excited.
This is 2 ounces of bourbon because we are trying to dress it up so this way you don't taste it like cough syrup. 1 ounce of honey simple syrup that we made at home, 1/2 ounce of French ginger liqueur, 2 dashes of orange bitters, and 4 or 5 blackberries muddled, and 1/2 ounce of fresh orange juice per serving. So you don't shake this one. You stir it thoroughly until chilled and poured over fresh ice. And
It's so good.
I thought it was going to be too sweet. You guys liked it. And I was like, And now that it's kind of like diluted a little bit, it's good.
Yeah, it's so good. Like I said, I'm not a bourbon girl, but this is good.
It's masking it.
Yeah,
It's really
so
nice. I could drink more of these.
Studio audience, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Double thumbs.
Double.
So your Beetlejuice. I said there was a space in between.
There's the
So that's
there's
obviously
the
a
words
movie
and
you wanna
comments in
watch.
between. You cannot like say it 3 times in a row.
Who are you talking to? You know I know.
You know.
You know I know.
You are talking to the Lydia Dietz.
I
so-
know.
Yes.
I'm so excited to talk about that later on.
Yeah, save that.
So what have you been watching, reading, entertaining yourself, and then a little bit about yourself?
We were just talking about Bridgerton. Shout out to like part 2 of the season that just came out of season 3. I read the books, so I'm like a big book girly. I'm in like my book girl era right now. I don't know where it came from. My grandmother and I like used to share books, and it could be like biographies or like romance novels and all that jazz. And then like recently with the huge pop of like A Court of Thorns and Roses, I like jumped on the bandwagon and then decided to do that. But like before all these like large like romance fantasies, I was a huge like Regal era romance novel girly. And so I read the entire like Bridgerton book series. And then season 1 came out and I was like, oh, I love this. And then season 2 came out, having not realized that I actually like read the series. And then I was like, oh, I remember that scene. Oh my God, the Bumblebee scene. And if you've watched the show, then you know what I'm talking about. If you've read the books, you really know what I'm talking about. And then I was like, oh my God, I've read all these books. Crazy how that's like now a show. And then season 3 just recently came out. And then part 2 of season 3 came out. And it's very spicy.
Spicy how? For the people who've never heard
I
of this.
can't spoil it,
It's just a
but
bunch of porn,
just,
isn't it? It's just English porn.
English corn. Softcore corn emoji.
But because they have the accents, it's just nice.
It's right. But
And a British accent makes anything nice.
It
so
takes it
even
from,
it
takes it from smut to classy.
correct because their accents.
100%.
Because moaning in an accent is different than moaning without an accent.
It could be in any accent though. It's like you got a Spanish accent, you got an Italian accent,
I
but
don't
the
know,
British
have you
accent
heard a
is
Chinese moan. It's kind of different.
Oh yeah.
Not what I expected to be on my episode today.
Woo! Can I get a ooh woo? I see you over there.
All the anime jokes. God damn it. There's not many people who would have gotten that at this
You're
table.
welcome. You got the right crowd.
God damn it.
So that show, I actually just finished the it's called The Gentleman.
Oh, I love that movie. Show and movie.
I love it
seen
so
that.
much. I'm a good
On
like
Netflix is Guy Ritchie.
Guy
Ooh, I
Ritchie
like
is
him.
like the producer director. My boy Theo James accent.
Everyone has an accent on there.
He is
Even the pothead Asian dude.
he's literally a pothead Asian guy with a British accent. Slaps.
I love it.
That show is like espionage, like modern day gangster. Love it so much. That is
drug dealers.
Oh, I love it so much. I'm a sucker for that kind of like genre.
Nice.
Oh, I love it.
Woody, have you watched a lot of Guy Ritchie films?
No, I have not.
Because I was going to try to kind of give you that, because he has this very unique directing style where you jump cut in time and kind of there's a bunch of pieces moving all at once, and then he ties it back together in the end. So you bring
like a
several
big present.
conclusions. Yeah,
Nice.
several
Okay.
conclusions back to back to back to back, and every little breadcrumb he's left throughout the series makes sense at the end. So it's really, really smartly directed and filmed.
Nice.
5 stars.
I gotta see it.
I'm a big Theo James fan because I'm he's really, really nice to look at. But the acting and the directing and the style of the show is really nice. I love I grew up with action films and mysteries, and horror films are kind of bleeding into my life, thankfully. But that show is very
The smile on
big.
Arthur's face.
Yeah, he's
when
like, I don't.
the
She
horror
said
film, she's like,
bleeding.
yes.
bleeding into my life.
Look
It's
in
like
the room.
and we're literally
I
in a
know.
room with Friday the 13th posters everywhere, Camp Crystal Lake. We have all the goods in here, all the paraphernalia, which is a lot like our house.
At the risk
like
of
Hall-
being kicked out of here, I don't do the horror thing.
You know,
Other than Halloween. That's it.
No, that's right. Halloween the movie or Halloween the holiday?
No, Halloween the movie.
okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, so she's
I watched
she's
all of
intro.
those, but then that's
she's-
it.
She's
Really?
intro.
Any other horror movie, I'm like, no, I'm not watching it.
We're gonna put a pin in that because I have a lot.
Put a pin in that because I scariest movie ever. We have that in our house, and it's not a good time.
Yeah, there's a bunch of movies that are really, really out there.
I take them to heart, and then I can't sleep for
Your
days.
imagination runs wild. I
No,
literally
seriously,
just
yeah.
So I'm the psychopath that falls asleep to horror podcasts, and it
No,
soothes
you
me.
would.
Yeah,
No.
yeah,
Forensic Files.
yeah. You see me smiling.
She
at
gets
almost all
sliced
times.
up and died and they found her body 5 days later, and Tony's just sleeping soundlessly, and I'm just completely engaged with how did she die? How do I avoid this?
No.
How do I avoid this?
My fiance will watch these horror these real life, this woman killed 13 men in her garage and fed her body to crocodiles. This and more horrific stories for the next 2 hours, and she's like, popcorn, chilling.
Living for it.
The moment I'm like, hey, we're gonna watch
She's
this
getting
movie about
ideas.
demonic possession, she's like, oh no, we can't. Oh my god, it's
too real.
and screaming. I was like, just avoid the fucking Vatican. What are you? You're fucking what are we freaking out about?
Jesus Christ, no.
Avoid. That's it. You just watched some shit about some lady getting murdered at a drive-through Denny's. What is happening? And that was okay.
But the question is are you more fascinated with how they actually died? For me, I'm more fascinated as to what made the person actually get to that point to want to murder them. Right? Yeah.
Snoring in your sleep, that's murder inducing.
That's snaps.
For the person that's snoring or the other person that has to
The
listen to
person
them?
that's snoring gets murdered.
You don't like snorers?
I love my husband. And it takes everything in me not to go to jail.
You're just gonna drink on that right now. Go ahead and drink on that.
Everyone.
I am not guilty. We all have bail money.
I have bail money
you
for
did-
you, bitch.
Cut that out.
To be 100% clear, Rosanna snores, and she fights me about it every time when I bring it up.
She's still alive.
Yeah.
She made it.
Because it's adorable.
But do you snore?
Only if I'm really fucking exhausted. It's not every
okay.
day. You've told me it's not every day. Are you lying to me now?
She's got that smirk. You guys
Have you
can't
been
see
lying
it.
to me?
She's like, it's not really a lie.
Welcome to Bourbon and
Bullshit.
Betrayal.
Bullshit.
Bourbon and Betrayal.
Betrayal.
Bourbon Betrayal.
This episode has taken a completely vast turn.
God damn it.
It was with Barbells and active lifestyle, and now we're
And
just
now
talking about
This is filmed in front of a lying studio audience.
not live, lying.
Lying.
Liars.
Jesus.
Yeah, back into the focus here. A little bit about me besides what I'm watching. So I am a doctor of physical therapy. I did 7 years of schooling, so you guys have known me at least that long.
Correct.
I've known you
Longer,
10,
like 9 years.
10
I did the math.
10.
It was like 9 or 10 years.
Yeah.
So you guys have known me from the bottom, like still an undergrad, figuring my life out and applying to PT school multiple times, and then finally getting in, and then becoming a hermit of a human being for several years, and then coming out at the end, and now doing what I'm doing. So with a small practice here in Central Florida, doing private practice, where I get to see our kind of like client demographic is athletically inclined individuals. Yeah. We are more of we're a cash-based practice where we don't take insurance. So the people that come to us are people who want to be there, which I appreciate because it's the people that are trying to improve their life, take control of their bodies, who are either in pain or looking for performance improvement or a mixture of both. So I always look for like the fitness forward individual. So I get to work with people like us every single day, which is not work for me. It's fun, which I love to do.
There's something in that too, because when you, like you said, people who want to be there, people are focused on their growth, focused on a goal. This is not just like, hey, I can't move my shoulder. I'm trying to be a better athlete, stronger, do this longer, make sure that I'm invested in my body and future. Same thing when you stretch zones and all those things. If you take your recovery seriously, and having that industry also makes so you don't necessarily have to have the kid gloves on too, right? You know that person's mindset's like, all right, what are we trying to do? Yeah, and you can kind of go forward with that.
We can put our big girl gloves on and kind of go to bat for them and with them about some of the mindset that they come in with, a lot of the lifestyle factors that can heavily influence health and wellness and pain. And that's a soapbox we can go down for hours on end. But to keep it as superficial as we can, it's like your mind plays a huge role in the way that you feel. Your lifestyle plays a huge role in the way that you feel, whether it be alcohol induced or nutrition or sleep or stress.
Right at me.
It's like, I'm not coming for your throat, but it's like, it's all about balance too, where people are like, if you're so focused on nutrition and health and wellness that you don't get to live your life. Like, so it's, I am a huge advocate for preaching good balance in your life, where it's like, okay, if you want to have a good couple of drinks with your friends, like have at it, man. But then like make sure that you're taking good care of the rest of your body in the other meantime.
Hydrate, try to sleep, stretch. Don't fucking just do some stupid shit.
And it's all in moderation, and making sure that you're keeping kind of a good check-in with your body. Your body tells you when you're not okay. And seeking help in the medical field in my space is usually that like red flag. So I get to work with people that are maybe getting those early signs of like that red flag moment, or like that have been dealing with it for so long that they just kind of like diminish it, and they're like, okay, well now I can't really actually function, like let's come in. So, and then I get actually the people that are like, I'm not in pain, but I just want to move better. I want to squat better. I want to weight lift better. Those are my favorite. Getting to work with like weightlifters is my favorite, because then I get to just coach. I get to do what I love to do and then coach them through it, corrective exercise, give them accessory work, and then build them to be the best athlete that they can be, without leaving any potential on the table, and really just like pulling it out of them, which is like the pinnacle of my job. It's like the golden ticket job. So I get to do that every single day and work with those kinds of people. And it might not be day one, but it might be towards the back end of their plan of care. And being able to work with those kinds of individuals is my favorite part of my job.
Is that why you wanted to go into the private space as opposed to joining just for the sake of it, something like Abilify or one of those other organizations that they do PT, but it's so general for the public and masses? that you don't really get to follow what you think is best. You have to follow a script almost.
How much time do we have? This is just so, well, you could bring me on for another day, but to keep it brief, a lot of it is like there's certain powers and control that control how often I get to see you or how I get to treat you. And if you kind of in general, like, can you wipe your ass? Can you walk to the mailbox? Can you get up and out of bed on your own? And that's physical therapy for a lot of certain practices and certain policy holders that will pay for your insurance. So if people want to take control of their body from start to finish, like all three of you specifically, Moody, where it's like, say you can do all of those things, but you have general pain or low back pain or shoulder pain or insert whatever it is that ails you that cannot allow you to reach your goals as an athlete, that mentally messes with you.
Right.
And you can't get physical therapy because it doesn't affect your function, quote unquote.
Yep. Right.
You don't get to go to physical therapy. So people will seek our services in that space where I can not only get you out of pain, but also improve the reason why you kind of maybe got there in the first place, and then improve your performance that eventually will then lead you to get from 9th to 1st or, that will take you to the next level. Here it is. You know what I'm saying? So
I did not forget that button.
I know. So a lot of that isn't just like their functional, like physical therapy is kind of viewed in that space, but a lot of it can be corrective exercise and like functional fitness, but then like performance therapy, people who want to stay out of pain so that they can continue to compete in worlds at an Olympic level and pursue those goals that they've set for themselves. So there's a lot in control of the reasons why people may go in network, what we call it, and versus like seeking services like mine and my practice in that space, that allows them that like freedom of treatment. Obviously in the space that we're not just like going willy-nilly, but we have the luxury of being able to kind of designate from our professional perspective to know how to get them from A to B and then B to C and then from their goal to the end, and see them every second of the way through and be with them every step of the way, and know, like when I say I struggle when I snatch,
Listen,
that they know what it means.
like,
or
like, I still have a very solid clean, but the jerk is terrible.
jerk
You
is
understand.
terrible. Yeah.
You understand.
And if
It's
you
all
go
your
to
shoulder.
and if you go to like an like certain
It's all his shoulder because he
it's
hasn't
not
been
the
to Megan
wrist.
yet.
It's never the wrist. It's
the
always the
bicep.
shoulder. And sometimes they'll go to a certain specialist and say like, stop doing that. And it's like, well,
I don't
it's not
want to
always-
stop doing
I don't
it.
like that.
Correct.
Like, and then it's a snowball effect where you're like, well, my mental health suffers, and then my relationships suffer, and then my nutrition suffers, and then my family suffers, and then it's just like, so for us to like nip that in the bud right from the start, I think it's so important
I'll
to
use myself
advocate
as-
for yourself.
I use myself as the prime example. My fiance will vouch for it. If I don't go to the gym because, hey, I tweaked something or whatever, I am a horrible person to be around. I am, and it's because
believe you.
we have been lifting it's straight up.
We've been doing it for
It's
so
straight-
long.
We've been doing it for so long. Those endorphins, getting that out. We have stressful lives. Not being able to have that physical outlet that I'm so used to is fucking. It feels like a trapped animal that's trying to compose itself, and it's horrible because you don't want. I'm not angry at you. I don't know why I just got mad, got snippy. I don't know why I just went outside. I don't know why I lost my temper like on the grass. This is stupid. I'm mowing the lawn. Like, why am I angry? And I've never ever. My fiance, you could tell them. I will never take out any anger at anyone here. I'll just stay completely quiet and be just internally angry. She's like, "You okay?" I was like, "I haven't lifted in 2 days."
It explains it all.
Yeah.
She gets it.
She's like, "Oh, never mind." And there are days she'll tell me, "This, I know he had a long week," and she'll just say, "Hey, take your time at the gym today," which means I saw the signs that this is coming up, that you're about to be.
So important.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have someone like myself and people in this field to know like, hey, so you like insert body part here. This bothers you, like, but your body works from the waist down, or your body works from the waist up, or let's work around that problem so that you can get those endorphins, can get that mental release, can get that physical kind of stimulus that allows you to just continue to feed into your goals and feed into making sure that your mental health is okay. Like, if I'm not at the gym again for a day or two, I'm like, oof, I'm not okay. And you know, life is crazy. Life is already hard. So if our body isn't allowing us to cooperate, it's not allowing us to kind of get that outlet. And sometimes it's also educating those people on like, all right, well, if the physical part isn't really working with us right now, like how can we kind of work with that where it's like nutrition, sleep, hydration, stress management, and things in that nature that allow us to kind of fill the void until then. And it's a short-term solution for a long-term result. So,
right. And once again, Dr. Meg is not a sponsor, but to speak to something like as a person who went through, I had 3 tears in my shoulder, got repaired, and I went to an Abilify. And I'm not shitting on them, but they have a checklist, and there's like 80-year-old people, and like, hey, I'm a very different human being. And right before that, I was fucking twice my, like, I was a much more muscular dude, just did War on Wall Street, just did a bunch of competitions. Like, I was lifting every day with you guys.
Yeah.
And I went from that to like, I'm sitting there with the 80-year-old patients and moving little weights up and down.
The 2-pound dumbbell.
Yeah. And
little pink dumbbell.
And I remember
Those are my
seeing
favorite.
Tony, Andrew's wife, and she's like, hey, look, how many weeks have you been going? I told her, and she's like, you should be moving a lot more. And she just volunteered because she did PT for some time. She said, hey, I will help you come through Sundays, open gym. Moody would see me there.
Yep.
And just started like manipulating my shoulder, moving stuff around, doing stuff for an athlete. And when I went back to Abilify, they're like, wow, everything is so much better. Like, wow, you must really be doing your extra exercises.
You're like, yeah. You're welcome.
Like someone else is doing your job.
You're not doing it.
But it takes someone like Tony to come into your network of people, to come onto your medical team, to come into your fitness team, as we call it, to put you in that space, to allow you to push that envelope. Because a lot of times, like, there's external pressure for us that tells us like you only need to make sure they can check these boxes. But for someone like you, where it's like, I want to be able to go to the gym and hang out with my friends, it's a huge social aspect. Is I would say like one of the number one things that people go to the gym for, especially in like the functional fitness space, is social aspect. A lot of us, especially post-COVID, all work from home and work alone, and going to the gym is their 1.5 hours of hanging out with their friends. Like, if I wasn't at the gym, I wouldn't have met you guys, and like you guys are my people. And it's a huge thing that people maybe take for granted.
Yeah.
That I get the luxury of being able to not just be someone that kind of helps to set that mindset in motion, but also be able to give that part of their life back to them. And that's what I love to do every day, is to kind of be that.
And it's a snowball effect. I think like once someone actually takes that step to move forward, to go into the gym, they meet some friends. You see it all the time. I see it all the time as a coach. You see the person's entire life change. And it's because they now have friends that are doing the same thing as them. And what's that saying? You're the sum of the 5 closest people to you.
Yeah.
So it is very like, it's super familiar for me to know someone and know like all of my best friends. They work out daily. They, for the most part, eat pretty clean. When we have our crazy days or our hangouts, that's when we have a cocktail.
A little bit,
we eat some Publix fried chicken or whatever it may be. Pub subs. Maybe you'll get Publix as a sponsor.
Hashtag Publix. Well, shopping is a pleasure. Straight up, I'm not even kissing their ass. I love walking in there because they always have some random shit I'm looking for.
It's great.
It's always on sale.
Yes.
I don't need these BOGOs, but I'll buy them.
I walked in today. I was like, I don't need 2 packs of blackberries. Give me these shits. I'll buy them.
Which influenced this delicious Beetlejuice drink.
Yes.
So
I just needed 1 box with their BOGO.
But you're the sum of the 5 people that are closest to you. Right. And if they're doing all of those healthy habits and they're sleeping and they're not staying out every single night or not smoking and they're getting their rest, you tend to do that too. What does that end up happening? Your life gets healthier. That in turn makes your house healthier. Then you take those habits to work and maybe you influence coworkers.
Yep.
And like it's a snowball effect of your entire life. I can't tell you how many times like I've gone to conventions at work, and it is mind blowing when I step outside of like my close friends and family, how unhealthy America is. And I say that I'm not a small girl. So anyone can say, oh, well, maybe she's not healthy. Okay, cool. But when I go to these conventions, it is disgusting how many people I see that are just insanely unhealthy. And I'm not talking about just looks wise. You can see it in their faces. You can see like the droopiness. You can see the wrinkles. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm 2 years younger than you. Shit, you don't look it.
I said, someone asked me my age. I'm 40. And he's like, what the fuck?
Oh?
Yeah, I'm 40. That face. I'm 40 and no one can tell.
Damn, boy.
Yeah, because healthy. I joke around. I have fun.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm gonna tell you because you met me towards the middle of my fitness career, change. So I was like 26 and breathing heavy, watching TV. I was like, what the fuck is wrong? And I was working overnight, so it was super unhealthy lifestyle.
Right.
And it started with, I wasn't sleeping. And not sleeping means I'm eating terrible food because I have no time. I'm exhausted.
Right.
And then I'm running on like caffeine and sugar to keep going. And Red Bulls come out.
Not sponsored by Red Bull, but we could be.
We could be.
There was a stage in my life where fucking Red Bull
Red
was
Bull or
giving
Celsius
me the ability
could
to
sponsor us.
Oh, yeah. But I was super unhealthy. Like to your point, it wasn't necessarily aesthetics. It was like I wasn't sleeping. I was eating trash. I was running on caffeine and sugar. And I'm just, and I didn't think anything of it until I'm like sweating playing video games. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
It does get intense though.
It could. Some matches are pretty, I redact that. It was fine. That was normal. That wasn't the sign. But I remember being 26 and my doctor's like, hey, we're going to put you on blood pressure meds. I was like, I'm 26.
Oh, shit.
He's like, no, yeah, you might die. Stop. Here, take these meds. I was like, what if I change my diet? And this is why I'm petty and angry.
Welcome to the club.
He said,
President,
I said,
VP,
I said, what?
Treasurer,
Yeah. This is how.
Secretary.
Yeah, exactly.
All in one room.
He
All
said,
of us.
he's like, well, you have to take these so you don't die. I was like, what if I change my diet? He's like, everyone says they would change their diet. They never do. I was like, oh, fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
And
Challenge accepted.
I got angry. I lost a bunch of, I went from 265 and I dropped to 220 the next time he saw me. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, well, it's cool. You lost it fast, but can you keep it? People don't keep it off. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
What kind of a doctor were you? Do you still go to him?
No.
Hell?
I changed him a long time ago because every time he challenged me, I came back healthier. And he's like, oh, wow. He's like, oh, well, I guess you're doing fine. And I was like, I don't like you. But I lost all the weight, whatever. But to your point, bringing it back to Moody's point, what happened wasn't like I was isolating myself from my friends. But I realized in order for me to focus on what I was trying to do, I couldn't do what they were doing.
Correct.
I couldn't be at I Spy in downtown until 3 a.m.
Right.
Because I'm not meal prepping. I'm not resting. I'm not recovering well. Now my workouts are suffering and I'm more miserable at the gym. Yeah. I'm not seeing his results. I'm seeing a slowdown on my results. I'm seeing everything fucking. And
also, I did a really hard workout. I'm fucking exhausted.
Yes.
I want to get home and take a shower and pass out. Yes. I'm not trying to go back out and socialize.
Yes. And I don't want to go to Denny's at 2 a.m. I mean, I do, but it has terrible effects on my body.
Right. Exactly.
So
it affects every single part of your life. And it ends up like just being this snowball and domino effect of other things. And then you cause it to go to other people, which is like the really cool thing that I like to see.
But then you see that group of friends. So for
you
me,
kind of outgrow them.
You kind of
they weed themselves out, and then other people come into your life.
So then I met that group of friends for the gym, like that athletic, and when I still kept that original group of friends, because they're awesome, amazing human beings.
You buy your time with them, though.
Yeah, but when they would see me, they would see me as a drastic change. They're like, what the fuck? Like, hey man, like you're looking good. I was like, correction, I always look good. I just occupy less space. Relax. I relax.
I
chill.
like that.
Like I occupy less space. That's not diminish the jokes, okay? Relax.
I'm still funny, okay?
I never stop being funny, asshole. But then I saw what happened was those friends saw that change, and a lot of them tried to say, hey man, can I go to the gym with you? Hey man, can I start doing this with you? Hey, do you mind if I was like, sure. Are you sure? They're like, yeah. I was like, that's fucking awesome. I don't lose my nerdy friends, and I don't lose this health like focus I'm on.
Yep.
And they became much more like, okay, we understand that's him. So when he disappears, hey, I can't stay out late. They accepted it. So it was cool to see that.
Those are
transformation.
good friends then.
Yeah.
Because the ones that get like upset or get annoyed with, oh, why do you have to be so strict? And, oh, it's just this or it's just that or it's just one workout. What do you mean you can't go to the gym? Listen, if you're going to tell me, if I tell you, hey, I can't meet you because I'm going to a workout or I have to work out today, and your response is, oh, you can skip the gym, never talk to me again.
Yeah.
Bye.
versus like, I'm so proud of you. I'll see you afterwards.
Or I'll go with you.
I'll catch you.
That,
or
or,
I'll
with
the
you.
friend who tells you, hey, you said 10. You got to go, man. Like, say bye because you know you're
Correct.
going to get caught up.
Right.
I'm like, I guess so.
Like, key to
you
my
that
heart.
dude.
I love
I'm
you.
gonna marry that guy someday. I'm gonna marry that guy someday.
He's engaged.
Get me a shirt.
But no, it's cool to see that. And you're right. I think both of you hit it spot on. When you associate with those kind of people who are, especially in your practice, Meg, you have those people who are, this is my goal, this is my focus. You can handle it with that mindset. You're not going to like placating to someone who's like a soccer mom who's like, hey, I guess I tore my shoulder picking up Kenny, like maybe a baby or something. That's not your clientele. You could be a lot more
It might
focused.
be, but at the end of the day, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
she got real excited about Kenny.
Yeah.
She said, babies. What?
Hey,
No.
relax. You go
And
and
it can
get,
be people like that. But a lot of the times it's like,
but they have a different mindset.
exactly,
That's what I'm
where
saying.
it's like, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to put in the time? Are you willing to sacrifice some things to take control of your body?
Yeah.
Like a lot of times certain things like your health, like your blood pressure or pain or insert ailment here, and it can take control of your life, where it's like, I love to work with those people, and I'm sure you as a coach too are like, you want to take control of your body.
Yeah.
Especially as a female. Ooh, shout out. And
Yeah, when
being
I get
just
those those moms, like newer moms, or even moms that have been moms for a while and have like little kids, and I tell them, okay, we're gonna learn how to snatch, and I'll set them up, and they're like, how much do you lift? I could never do that. I'm like,
yes, you can.
wait. Let me. This is my famous thing. I think you've heard this like a million times. Okay. You have how many kids? I have 2, or I have 3, or I just had my first. Okay, cool. When you have a baby and you have a newborn, right? They're probably 7-8 pounds, right? They quickly grow to about 15 pounds. You put them in the car seat, right? Okay, cool. You also take them out of the car in the car seat, and you also carry their baby bag. So you're carrying a 15-pound baby in a car seat with a baby bag, and let's be honest, nobody likes to take 2 trips to their car, right? So you take your purse, your Stanley probably.
Shout out
to Stanley.
Hashtag not a sponsor. We're Yeti household here.
And any groceries.
Yeah.
You're telling me you can pick all of that up and take it into your house, but you're telling me that a 35-pound barbell is too much for you? Girl, bye. Pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a thing as called as mom strength. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So it's all perspective too. It's like, you are capable, you are strong, you are
100%.
powerful. Like words of affirmation. Oh my gosh. And words of encouragement, I think, is so powerful, and it's mindset too, you know.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have people in your corner that are helping to push you in that space. So
Yeah. And one thing, because I've been complimenting you guys both on
gas
it.
us up.
I
Let's
love
go.
it.
I mean,
oh my
shit,
goodness. I'm
it's-
going to come here weekly.
Listen,
I'll see you guys next week. Make me feel this good every week.
it'll be 7:30 p.m. No, one thing that with you guys is always commendable before we go on our break is that regardless of what was going on in any of our lives, if I'm like, as a coach, I'm like, hey, I can't make it to the box because of my
Where
job
are
schedule.
you?
Where
are you?
Where are you?
You guys would not only check on me, make sure I was going, and I'm like, hey, my schedule's just been crazy. Moody's like, I'm gonna write you a program.
Mm-hmm.
Megan's like, well, I'm following this program. You should probably try this if you could only work on it. Like, you guys were always like, let's make sure you stay on your goal. I'm like, you don't even charge me for this. Like, they're just good, fantastic human
I
beings.
love you.
Because that's the importance of having people in your circle
Yeah.
that have that where your goals align with
Yeah.
them.
But to be clear, you guys never hesitated, never had to be asked. You volunteered. You're like, hey, I got you all day. Like, I know you can't make it to the gym because you're. I think at that point I got promoted to this high level store, 24 hours.
Yeah.
I was working around the clock.
I remember.
So busy.
I was pissy all the fucking time. I'm like, I'm surrounded by idiots. Like, I'm there at like 7 a.m, leaving at 6:30 at night. And at some point it would just become so detrimental mentally. And I was like, I can't make it to the gym because by the time I get there, you guys are done.
Right.
By the time I would get there, it's like 7 p.m. I don't even know the coach there. I don't even know what the fuck is going on. And half of the fun was training with people I like.
I remember one time, like, you were like, I'm not going to make it to the gym until maybe next week, and maybe not even after that. And I sent you like 3 or 4 workouts. And after every workout, well, no, there was like 2 or 3 workouts. I think the last workout you did it and you texted me and you were like, did you hate me when you wrote this?
I was like, did I do something to you?
Did I hurt your feelings or did I hurt your soul? Because why would you write this? And I think I replied, I was like, you're still alive. You texted me. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And I was like,
But did you
facts.
die? If he dies,
Like,
he
you're
dies.
fine.
That's like our mindset. Maximum effort.
Yes. Every time we would work out.
Whenever we worked out together, if we're trying to like help each other from afar, it was maximum effort. Shout out Ryan Reynolds.
We showed
Deadpool.
up in matching Deadpool shirts more than
Oh
once.
my gosh. It was like, yo man, wear the shirt.
Yo, are you wearing the shirt?
Are you wearing the shirt
It
today?
would be in the car in
In the
case you said
car.
wear the shirt. I was like,
Or the Captain America socks.
yes.
Ugh.
I think
So,
I have pictures of you in all of those
like
outfits.
have a-
and
we
you.
we
have
feed
couple
it we feed into each other's like nerdy athletic side, but it's like finding those people in your life, I think, is at the end of the day what this I think podcast is all about. Like health, wellness, fitness, health and wealth, if you will. But finding those people in your life that will help you to just continue to pursue that part of your life.
Regardless of what your goals are, being surrounded with people who are going to be supportive, like-minded at least, or even you don't even have to be focused on the same kind of outlet. Just someone who
Right.
understands, I'm driven for this is my motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts to Sugar Mama. She has her empire of burlesque. And she was one
One
of the
day.
biggest advocates to be like,
Yeah.
she's like, gee, you've been trying to do this podcast. What's stopping you? And I'm like, I just don't know where to start. I don't want to put out bad content. She's like, just fucking start. I'm like, well, I have to do the LLC. She's like, swipes the card. Now you have an LLC.
She that dude.
She's like, now
Love
you have
it.
an LLC. What's stopping you now? I was like, well, shit, calm down, okay? Like she would not let it go. She even fucking had conference calls. So these are the people I love being around.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a quick break. Come back. We're gonna be featuring a whiskey/bourbon blend from a local distiller / preview for them being on the show in July. I will be filming, recording on site. So
excited.
we will be right back after a message from our sponsor.
Sponsor of Bourbon and Bullshit, Big Bang Boom Collective is Orlando's burlesque and cabaret entertainment group, comprised of Midnight Fables Cabaret, Big Bang Boom Cabaret, and Foxy's Den. Follow us on Instagram at Big Bang Boom Collective, or join our VIP email list for info on upcoming shows by visiting www.bigbangboomcollective.com.
Hi guys, we are back. So we're going to be featuring something of a preview because we'll be bringing in this brand for recording in July. So we are featuring a bottle from /distillery/blenders, a local entity here in Winter Park, Florida. So this bottle was actually handpicked by the owner, one of the owners, Tim Bradstreet from / in Winter Park. This one is the Thornhurst Rye Whiskey and Straight Rye Whiskey. Excuse me. English is not very good looking today.
Too many Beetlejuice.
So what's unique about them is that they are not necessarily a traditional distillery. They are a blending. They're blenders. So what they take is builds and barrels from other distilleries, purchase them, and make their own blend in-house. So they could be featuring something from a 15-year, an 8-year, 7-year from several brands. They go and source them, bring them home, age them sometimes, finish them in different casks, and produce that product. So you won't be able to find their unique build anywhere else. This one is made up from 4 different distilleries. One in Michigan, one in Pennsylvania, one in New York, and one in Florida. This rye finished here. Yeah, so you could take a look at the bottle. The design's really cool.
It's really sleek.
It's real sleek, real minimalist. Their glasses are great. The facility is great. If for any of you who follow us on socials, we were at their actual location for their Kentucky Derby party. Keep an eye on their social. They are constantly doing something. So they have bourbon and bonsai tree clipping. You get to keep your tree, little plant. They have bourbon and yoga, Bikram yoga. So they have a bunch of things coming up. They are consistently doing something for the community and always working towards something. So a little bit of their story. Their passion began on the basis upon / owned and operated by beverage veterans and enthusiasts Tim Bradstreet and Michael Buffa. / aims to maintain the rich history of the spirit industry with authentic, forward-thinking approach. Bradstreet, a spirits nerd. If you ever hear him talk about it, he is so passionate over, like, you could tell everything. He just lights up. I've talked to this man like 3 times, and every time he's like, oh, and we did this, and it's finished in this, and it's finished in this. Overjoyed, and I'm a massive nerd. Something you're passionate about. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I love seeing that, and you can see that in him. Former bartender and corporate beverage director alongside Buffa, who founded both the Orlando Whiskey Society and Buffa Bittering Company, found each other through shared adoration of the world of whiskey. They're putting forth a very unique product, and they are doing fantastic work. Blending and is much more in their wheelhouse what they're doing currently, because anyone who knows anything about bourbon, they knows it takes a long fucking time. You don't put out a 2-year bourbon and expect good product. So what they're doing is sourcing it from outside distilleries, bringing it in-house, and finding their perfect blends and mixes. They have one really unique bottle called the Krampus Rye, and it's no longer on shelves. They sold out every single fucking bottle, and it was fucking amazing. They have one there still pretty. We tried it for my fiance and I tried it for during the Derby, and I almost stole what they had left. But I'm too dark to do theft in Wyndham Park.
We got bail money.
We got bail money. So their blending ritual is a sacred process we aspire to perfect for a / premium blended spirit that's both subtle yet significant. They've also recently brought out something called Sin Nombre. It's an agave spirit. It's their mezcal tequila blend that's behind my fiance right now, which was a surprise for everyone here. Ooh. So this one is over the top, one of the highest quality mezcals I've ever had in my life. This whiskey I had today, and it was one of the best ryes I've ever had. Nice. So really looking forward. I'm not going to overly go over the top with their stories because we'll find out more in a future episode from /. But ladies, I wanted you to try something I think would be uniquely spicy. And for those who don't know, typically rye whiskeys are something on a spicier note. So I've found, and this is not documented anywhere, but everyone I talk to, anyone from the Caribbean or would be Boricua on the inside tends to really like rye whiskey as opposed to regular bourbon.
Because it reminds you of spiced rum?
Well, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So you get that little, okay. Yo, I see what you're doing. So, ladies, I'll let you guys try it. There's a glass in front of both of you. My lovely fiance poured it up for us. So cheers to /
Cheers.
And to, apparently initials being put on my palm. Right. Right. I like the fact that Moody did not immediately react negatively to this.
No, I was like, okay. That just, like you said, it reminds me of like Brugal.
Yeah, like a good spiced rum. So one of the really cool things about Brugal, and I don't know if you knew this, Moody, other than it being Dominican, so it makes it really good rum. Brugal's almost all of their rums have now taken on, for the last 20 years, have kind of taken inspiration from the bourbon distillation and aging process. So I did this and their master distiller is a woman. And she at some point said, I fucks with bourbon and I love what they're doing. Let's do what they're doing. And where rum is more molasses and sugary and sweeter.
Now.
Yeah, it's going to hit.
Put on a good front.
Oh, but it's, that'll hit because it's 100. I think it's 100 proof, 50% ABV. So it's 100 proof. So it should be a little hot.
That's like pitorro.
But it's good. I thought
it's good.
Yeah, but
oof.
Not cough syrup.
Told you.
Wow.
Yeah.
As soon as she saw me, I was like,
I did it.
Hold up.
I did it.
Hold up.
Where's that clap?
Hit the button, G.
Try. Hold on. Wait.
There it is.
All right, enough.
That's really yummy.
So Brugal and all those took their inspiration from the bourbon industry, where bourbon ages all their stuff in fresh white oak American casks. They said, I like that. Let's finish our rums in that. And a lot of the practices that they found from bourbons, Brugal has been taking on.
So what you're saying is it just took a woman to make them better.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
1,000%.
Yeah.
If you guys ever want to tune into episode 2 of the show, we actually feature Brugal 1888 and Brugal, where we did a whole excerpt on the feat for one of the highest rated, not only master distillers, but a first of her kind, being like the 5th generation in her family, and she was a woman. She's one of the highest recognized, highest awarded, like master distillers for rum. It would be a different name, but yeah.
I mean, the alcohol industry, period, is hard for a woman to really become a big executive.
Oh man,
so it's tough.
You got to follow me on socials. I feature it all the fucking time. Most recently, Uncle Nearest is owned and operated by an African American woman.
So cool.
And Uncle Nearest is broken so many records. Mm-hmm. So that one was one that was. I don't know if you know the story. You know who Jack Daniels is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he stole his distilling process from an African American man, and that was Uncle Nurse. That's where that brand inspired by. So all of his practices and everything, he stole. So we can
Not even surprised.
Fun facts.
Fun facts.
Which is exactly why he ended up buying the biggest, like the quickest, was it grossing liquor brand, which was Bethany Frankel's.
Yes.
That's why Jack Daniels bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like the quickest,
We
highest
educated over
grossing.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So for the Uncle Nurse, just because we talked about it, Uncle Nurse officially surpasses $1 billion in valuation and becomes the fastest growing American whiskey brand. And it's run by a woman. A black
Love it.
woman. Yeah. The fastest growing American whiskey brand.
Listen, I am a big proprietor. If you want it done, you give it to a man. You want it done right, you give it to a woman. Which is
Men. Hit that clap
ridiculous.
button.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
There it is. Which is insane to me why we haven't had a female president yet.
Soon, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's coming.
But this bottle reminds me of a rum. A rye is always in every.
Very much.
Notes of that in there.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's a spice.
It's surprisingly good, right? Especially, I say surprisingly because you think an underknown brand. It's local. It's a high quality product. It's a real.
But let's talk about like how green their process is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because all of these barrels are being reused again, so they're not being like trashed.
Yeah. So,
Like from a green standpoint, like talk about like recycling and taking care of our environment. How like innovative is that? That's pretty cool.
a lot of the things they do there is so next level, and they're doing unique things. And what we can get on a soapbox. There are higher named brands like High West Distillery, which is Midwinter Night's Dram, all that. They do great product. I'm not shitting on them, but they're not unique in their blending process. Other companies do the blending process. Lux Row does something called the Blood Oath. It's a blending process. There's only one person who knows what he picks. So Blood Oath is a very unique thing. They hire one guy. It's like, go find us a bunch of barrels and make us a run of whiskey. And he's like, yeah, cool. No one will know what the fuck it is, though. It's like, what? It's like, that's part of the deal. No one will know but me what the mix is, and no one will be able to recreate it. Cool. Makes a very unique blend, but the blending of whiskeys originally was frowned upon because they felt like it took away from like the history and the process. And it's like, fuck you. This is something new. I'm not going to wait 20 years to find out if my product is good. I'm not. I'm trying to make a life of this.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I'm 65 to be like, I figured out whiskey, and now I'm gonna die. Like, what the fuck?
This stuff has been around for so long that it's cool that they're continuing to innovate the industry and find different ways to make things taste good or kind of hit the mark in the sense of like being part of. Like being seen in a very saturated industry, I would say.
Yeah,
sure.
So really, really cool. And it's like local, which is huge for us in the Central Florida region. So
yeah, if
love
I
that.
give my money to anybody, it might as well be somebody in my backyard.
Love that.
Remember that when you leave here. But as someone who doesn't really necessarily drink whiskeys and bourbons, did you pick up any like spices? Did you pick up any notes, like something like
Totally like cloves and like cinnamon kind of spice. It honestly reminded me, yes, of Brugal, but it also reminded me of like my grandfather's like pitorro.
That's nice.
So for anybody that doesn't know what pitorro is
educate me.
Yeah.
Take me to school, sister.
In Puerto Rico, they make pitorro, and it's basically like moonshine. It's like Puerto Rican moonshine.
Amen.
So of course you like just take an empty bottle and you throw a bunch of spices in it, and then you throw rum, or sometimes they used vodka, whatever alcohol they had, and you just let it cure. And the big deal was like my grandfather would like throw it in the back of the pantry. So, and then take it out once a day, mix it and then like flip it and then put it back. And I mean, he would start making it like in June so that by December for Christmas, it was cured and it was done. So, but he would use like cinnamon sticks and cloves and oranges and like types of fruit to like flavor it. So it really honestly reminded me of that.
I love the fact that he basically is distilling in his household, because that's how you
100%.
put stuff in a warehouse. You put it like where no one could like see it in the back of the pantry. He's like, just leave it there.
He would put it in the back of the
figure itself
pantry and starting in June, and then it would be, or he would take it out to like he was a wood maker, like a carpenter, kind of like in his spare time. And so he would take it to the back, because then in like where he had all his stuff, which was outside, and he would put it in a cabinet because it was warm during summer in Puerto Rico. So of course it would just sit there and ferment. And he would start in June, and then
Are you sure this man's not a whiskey maker somewhere?
Like,
like I'm starting to wonder.
Listen, my grandfather was a jack of all trades.
Just because that's a process. Like
he legit would start in the summer, because then for Christmas we would all, and I mean by we, I mean even the kids sometimes would like take a tiny little sip, or at like New Year's Eve,
Tiny sip.
So
I'm about to get drunk. I'll be total. That's pretty spot on, especially with rye. Typically you get cinnamon notes and cloves, and star anise is one of the one that comes up on like. What about you, Meg? I know that it's, as long as it's not cough syrup.
That's a win.
That's a win.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
For me, it's like knowing my whiskeys and bourbons and stuff like that. It's like knowing that like they are not the same. But anything that's like a rye, I'm like, oh, it's so spicy. So spicy. But it was really, really tasty. Like Rosanna over here, I was like, broke my neck, because it was so unique in the sense of there was spice there, but then it was like really, really smooth on the back end. I was like, oh, it's not cough syrup. I can tolerate this. But then also you get like really, really cool, different kind of like, how do you explain it? Like an experience in one sip, where it's like really, really easy going in, spicy, and then smooth on the back end, which was really fun, because most of the time it's just literally a lot of like really spicy mouthfeel on a lot of rye whiskeys. So that was really nice.
Yeah. He was walking me through this. Obviously, when we get him on the show, he'll give me the exact details. But this is also just, I said it briefly, but 50% ABV is 100 proof rye whiskey. Oof. Like this should be.
So I got to Uber home.
Yeah, maybe.
Be safe, everybody. Drink your water.
Don't text your ex.
Don't text your ex.
There's no reason for people to drink it. I get so angry when I hear about like celebrities and people like drinking and driving. It's like Uber exists.
Facts.
Like straight up.
There's no excuse.
Anytime I hear like a celebrity was drunk and why? You have money.
You also probably have people that can actually drive you.
Yes, that's
like
the other
being
part.
A jerk.
Tell a friend to tell a friend that I need to be picked up.
Hire one sober dude. I'll take that salary. I will never drink. Like if you pay me enough, I will always be the dude to make sure you get home.
Correct.
And no paparazzi.
And enjoy the vibes.
Yes, enjoy the vibes. NDAs all day.
Yeah. And for like our like common folk, right? Me, you, and everybody else in this world. Like if you don't have the money to pay for an Uber at the end of the night, you shouldn't be going out.
That too.
Because then you probably don't have the money to pay for the drinks.
Or the tips.
Right.
Girls,
it don't matter, because we can get our drinks paid for, but still you should have the money for an Uber.
Tip your bartender. And also, don't you question it. I could get my drinks paid for too. As long as Rosanna doesn't know, because I can't even get free coffee in this goddamn house without getting yelled at.
I'll buy you a drink.
That's a side. Thank you. See?
I'll bring you coffee next time.
And then I'll buy her one.
Thank you. Hey, that's still saving me money.
And then only buy hers.
Still saving me money. She literally told me I'm not allowed to get free coffee from girls. So, I didn't.
Or boys.
Or boys.
Yeah.
Wait, can I get them from boys? What the hell?
We are equal opportunity in this household, okay?
Sexist. Plenty of men will buy me coffee. Listen, I'm glad you guys like it. I wanted to introduce you to something unique. Good. I'm going to keep drinking it, but I do want to ask you guys some questions. I sent you a little bit of questions.
Yeah, let's get back on focus here. Yeah. We're ready now.
We're ready now. We're going to get... Tell me about the time you killed him. No, I'm joking.
Catch me on Forensic Files, season 25, episode 3.
Oh, my God.
So we talk a little bit...
When Tony doesn't stop snoring.
God damn it.
I love you, honey.
Today on Forensic Files. The story about two athlete lovers and one who could not stop snoring because he had sleep apnea. And the other one who said, this is enough.
Why you gotta call us out like that? We're literally coming from my throat.
Plot twist. Megan's the one that can't stop snoring.
Yeah.
It's literally me.
Tony's like, I loved her. She wouldn't stop. Fuck me.
Insurance policy.
And refocus.
All right, focus. Let's bring it back.
This is going to be a long episode. I'm so excited. You guys stay tuned. It's going to get better. We're dialing in now. Here we go.
We're dialed in. So we heard a little about your origin stories. We're going to touch on them later. But I wanted to hear about one of the questions I'm really looking forward to. It's called Bend, Don't Break. what was the toughest competition or experience or a pivotal moment that you're like, fuck?
Am I going to make Megan cry again?
No.
Go for it.
We're going to
I'm
go
ready.
Moody. Moody first.
Ladies first.
No, because I want to. Because she was first strength.
She's got to go first.
Oh my goodness.
So the bend don't break. What was the toughest either competition or that experience or that key moment when you're like, oh, when you were on the verge of like, this is too much?
I think I have two, and I think being a mom, I think they both of them kind of focus around my kids. So the first one would be, I got into CrossFit because after my daughter was born, I wanted to lose a few pounds. So I did what every person getting into fitness does. They decide to go run a 5K. So I went to go run a 5K. Yeah. Fuck my life. I ended up running a 10K, and then I was like, and I'm done with this shit. So I decided, okay, well, I need to find something else. Somebody invited me to like a HIIT boot camp. It ended up being like the owners were starting to get into CrossFit. It was like about 2013. Mm-hmm. I think my second week we did Murph.
Oh, why? For those who don't know, what is Murph? For everyone who does not know what Murph is.
For those that don't know what Murph is.
What's true Murph?
True Murph is, it's a workout in memory and honor of Michael Murphy, who was a Navy SEAL and he was killed in the line of duty. It was his favorite workout. You run 1 mile, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then another mile after.
What's a plot twist? Then true Murph.
Oh, and then you wear a vest. You wear a vest.
20 pounds.
Yeah, a 20-pound vest for the guys, 14 pounds for the women. And you do all of that vested.
Unbroken, by the way.
Correct.
As
prescribed. Like 100 pull-ups back to back, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and both miles. I was like 2 weeks into CrossFit, and all of a sudden I show up on like friggin' Memorial Day, and they're like, oh, we're having a workout this day. I'm like, all right, cool. This is great. Both my kids are going to be sleeping, and they can stay with their dad. This is awesome. And I show up, and they're like, this is the workout you're doing. If you can't do pull-ups, you're going to do sit-ups instead. So it's 100. Instead of doing the pull-ups, you got 100 sit-ups.
Was the gym hoping to lose members? Were they at capacity and trying to...
Listen. So I remember...
Sign a waiver?
Listen, they already have my money, so I was like...
I have no words.
Yeah. It was... Listen, that second, when I finished that 300th air squat and I started to walk, I felt everything in me saying, like, why are you doing this to yourself? And then part of me was like, then, you know, you have like the angel and the devil on your shoulders or whatever, or what people like to call like the good wolf and bad wolf. And everything in me kept saying, like, just go. Like, you can, if you can finish this, you can do anything. Right? I was like, why not? If I can go home and tell my friends and family, I just did this workout this morning and now I'm here in the pool hanging out with you guys. And then the other part of me was like, this guy died for us. Like, I should be able to do this. Like, how lazy of a freaking American am I if I can't even get through this workout? So that was one big, like, and that was like I said, 2 weeks into like my fitness.
For just context, even people experienced in CrossFit, that workout kicks you in the face.
Yes. It is one of the hardest workouts known in the functional fitness space that isn't just like a physical challenge, but it's very emotional, knowing what you're giving, what it represents, what was given to be able to physically be present in that moment. So
yeah, for sure.
Woof.
Yeah, that was tough. And then I'd say like the second one would definitely be in 2022, to take it back to that year, I'm Pan Am's in Puerto Rico. I lifted just the Pan American Championship was one of the meets that I did. It just so happened to be in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I am Puerto Rican. My entire family, for the most part, lives there. And so I was like super excited to go to Puerto Rico to lift because now my family on the island could actually come and see me. I did not know that this meet was going to take place 24 hours after my son landed in Chicago for Navy boot camp. So at 2 a.m., I get the phone call, recruit so-and-so. This is him calling me from the line after he's like got off the bus from the airport. For the record, the first time I had ever put my kid on a plane by themselves because I'm just that mom. So he calls me. I get the phone call, and it's called basically like their entry call or their safe call. So, recruit Santana, I'm here, I'm safe. You'll hear from me in a few weeks. Click. I didn't hear from him for like almost 3 weeks. So in the background, you could hear the drill instructors, hang up the phone, like complete pandemonium. Talk about like a wake up call out of bed.
Woo!
And then at 4 a.m., I got on a plane to go to Puerto Rico. And 24 hours later, I was lifting. I made only one of my lifts, but I totaled. So for those that don't know, when you lift in an Olympic weightlifting meet, you do 3 snatches, 3 clean and jerks. You only have to get one of each in order to have a total. Mm-hmm. I got 1 snatch, which was my first one, and 1 clean and jerk, which was my first one. But I also opened heavier than I've ever opened. Mm-hmm. So they were basically bordering at almost 95% of my 1 rep max, and I was opening with that. So the other 2 would have been
you were fucking around.
Personal best. No, I went into that
came
one.
In hot.
Yeah, I went into that one. I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to lose on this one.
Spicy as shit, man. What the hell?
I'm as spicy as this /
Hey. Shout out, you guys, dad dude.
Hashtag not a sponsor yet. Listen,
But yeah, no, I remember my son told me, he's like, take a risk. Why not? I was like, okay, cool. We'll do that. And I looked at my coach. I was like, you want to do that? He's like, if you're going to do it at any meet, it's might as well take the risk at this meet, because you can't mess around like that at Worlds or, you know, all the variables of who is showing up. I took home 2nd place.
Fuck yes.
So
hell yeah.
You guys are out playing this goddamn clap button. I don't even fucking know.
You gotta have that finger on the ready. So yeah.
For those who are curious, we have other claps available.
Hey.
I like the first one.
Okay.
Wait,
Sounds like rain.
Hold on.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Okay.
All right.
I like that one.
We offer options here at Bourbon.
1 and 3 are on the ready.
We offer options here. All right. So this is going to be fun because this is a follow-up question. So Murph, fresh out.
Yes.
What did you learn that you're like, going forward, I got to keep this in mind?
I think that day I learned that my body was way more capable of anything that my mind was telling it to do or not to do. 100%. Like Megan said earlier, mindset is everything. I could have quit halfway through that workout and nobody would have judged me for it, but I would have always regretted it. Mm-hmm. So I think I learned that day that definitely my body was capable of moving forward. And then also my mind, I had to reset my mind from the typical Hispanic women are supposed to be calm and not strong and not like just hang out in the background and not really be that way. Even though there's like the stereotype of Latinas being crazy, we're told since we're little, like just hang out in the background, let the man do like the manly stuff.
Yeah.
Running, push-ups, sit-ups, squats and lifting weights is not like a feminine thing. And so I think that day I was like, okay. Yeah, like the big joke with my family is always your uterus is going to fall out.
The fuck?
You keep lifting those weights, your uterus is going to fall out. I'm like, I don't need it at this point. Fuck do I care? I don't care.
I ain't never heard that.
Go.
I'm so concerned.
No, I swear.
I know. Because I've heard so many random things about, even like when in Hispanic households, like my family, if I lift, my mom makes comments when I was lifting a lot of weights. Yeah. And she would still make like negative.
You're going to I got, for my kids both have always grown up in the gym, thankfully. Mm-hmm. And like you said, we said about my son, you're like, oh, I remember when he was lifting weights when he was like 15, 16. He's been in the gym with me and lifting weights since he was 8. Thankfully, that crossed over to now his military career. He went to boot camp, didn't bat an eyelash.
Yeah.
And he didn't train at all. And he told
ready.
me,
Hey, what's up?
the sad part, this is where it goes back to where I said, like, this is not the norm in America. He went into boot camp and there were so many that failed out because of the physical part. And you knew you were going to boot camp.
Motherfucker, you signed up. No one just showed up to your house and was like, hey, get on this bus. Like,
correct. You knew what you signed up for and you still went unprepared and you still went unfit. So yeah.
All right. So what did you learn from the second one? The second big moment?
I think the second one was all emotional. I knew that I could push through the emotions. Yeah, it was, I knew that I could channel my emotional stress for good. So
going through all that with your son, putting him on like you said, a plane for the first time by himself. Yeah, that could not have been easy to be like, and I got to go focus now. I got to get my mind.
It's one of the hardest sports where it's like, it's just you.
Yeah, there's no other one.
Like,
no one else.
Not even like comparative like to another sport where you have other maybe potential athletes like in the lane next to you or on the field next to you, where like Olympic weightlifting is one of the hardest sports I think I've ever seen or coached or even witnessed, where it's like, it's just you and it's quiet and it's literally you and your own mind.
Yeah.
So to be able to like clear that.
Yeah, it's true. Because like, even if you're a swimmer or you run track and not on a team, you still have the people next to you running at the same exact time. And any Olympic lifter, you're leaving your coach on the sideline, you're walking out. And I always tell people, like, if you're going to find an Olympic weightlifting coach, you need to find somebody who has competed in the past, because none of it compares to it. Let me tell you, you can go hit any lift or any big PR in a gym. But when you walk out to that platform and you have 3 judges who honestly would love to give you some red flags.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, there's some times I've seen those lifts. I was like, how the fuck was that red?
Exactly.
How the fuck was that red?
They are itching to give you those red flags.
Haters.
And then when you take it up another level at national, international meets like Pan Am's or like Worlds, where you're on an elevated platform. So now you're higher than everyone. Everyone's sitting down, you're on an elevated platform, and you have multiple cameras in your face.
Yeah.
And you know,
so overwhelming. I've never done it myself, but the thought of even doing it and watching you from afar, I'm like,
yeah,
like heavy breathing.
Takes it to a different level.
It really does. Yeah. And to be able to do what you did during that time, like I remember you calling me later that day and it's just like, I did it. And I remember like asking, are you okay? Because of your son, and then being like in your family's country. And it's just like so much like riding on that moment and riding on like each moment that you're on that platform, like, and the fact that you're like on display of everybody. I couldn't have even imagined it. And the fact that you came in with like a total and like crushed it, even with your opening lifts, was like,
thank you.
So cool.
I was fine by the time I called you because I had about 6 passion fruit mojitos.
Amen. Yes, girl.
Literally, that's all I drink when I go to the island.
Yes. Next time we're on passion fruit mojitos.
Are you? Numb. I can't feel shit. I'm drunk.
I was like,
Why?
I am fine.
Right,
I'm between how sore I am and all of these drinks, I'm good. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'll think about everything else.
All right, guys. So we are going to wrap up part 1 of Bourbon and Barbells here at Bourbon and Bullshit. Make sure that you stay tuned for next week's episode, where we continue to get to know these lovely, wonderful, strong women and their journey through fitness. There's going to be some really cool, interesting things that we discuss about their side hustles, their passion projects, and things that they do outside of just health and fitness. And a lot of laughs, of course. If you guys are enjoying what we're doing here at Bourbon and Bullshit, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, click, share, everything. Send a carrier pigeon. Tell your friends about it. Tell your exes about it. Tell your enemies about it. Do the free thing and support us when you can. All right. Stay tuned to next week's episode. Cheers, everyone. Stay safe. Bye. Hey, guys. Today's episode is brought to you by Burn, Termite, and Pest Control. I first met Joe Byrne on Full Frontal Nerdity Show and decided to give his company a try. They have been the best pest service I've ever had. From flexible scheduling, attention to detail, fair pricing, and everything you love about a small business, I highly recommend Joe Byrne and Burn Termite and Pest Control. It's a family-owned and operated business with over 30 years of experience in termite and pest. You can reach Burn Termite and Pest Control at 321-297-7985. Once again, 321-297-7985. And let them know Bourbon and Bullshit sent you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.